It's a white dude. Ben, is it Ben something?
Dave McManaman.
Dave McMenamin. He covers the Lakers.
Okay.
I'll make sure. Are he well? Does he work for ESPN too? See the ESPN or
It looks
the
like it's
Athletic?
ESPN.
So they tied the knot. Good for them.
Yep, they got married this past weekend.
Yeah, he works for ESPN and he primarily covers the Lakers. All right, I gotta do one thing. Let me tweet that we are live. Hold on. Let me see. Where we at with it? Man.
Top comment says, "You kept the comments open. I respect that." And then like somebody was like, "I'm confused," and then like she married a white dude, like like the like.
Hilarious. All right. Oh, there it is right there. I'll have to even search for the name. Quote. All right. Got my usual tap in. Post. I'm going to close. Well, let me look at one last thing so I can look at this setup. Oh, I do that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you may find yourself as you listen to this and you're tuned in to the only sports podcast with brains and bars. It's a black and white thing featuring A1 and A Ward. Please remember you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, wherever you find a good podcast, searching for It's a Black and White Thing or Brains and Bars, giving us 5 stars there, leave a comment as well, but also share. Same thing for the YouTube, at Brains and Bars on YouTube. Remember to hit the notification bell, like if you're watching us live, comment, share the broadcast, tell a friend it's those boys again. And our social media at Brains and Bars. That's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And as usual, I'm joined by the good homie A Ward. What's good, man?
Just realized that we might have to change the intro. I mean, the Pat Bev podcast technically has brains and bars, and so we might not be able to say you're tuned into the only podcast that has
the first. We'll say the first one. Then we were the first.
Yes. We started. We started this wave.
We started this barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm tired like always, but it's Tuesday, so got home yesterday from Boston. Great weekend. Getting ready to go to Alaska this weekend for another battle, and so just right back to the grind, man. But I'm good.
Man, so I mean, as if you can see the headline here, what we're here to do. We're here to talk about Massacre 6 put on by TBL and King of the Dot. First of all, let me say shout out to y'all. It was a dope weekend. I feel like when you have, I think there are 17 battles on the card. And when you have that many battles, I kind of equate it to having a parlay, right? And the more legs you add to the parlay, the higher the likelihood of it falling apart. And when you have that many battles, look, we've seen cards with 5 battles have terrible, outcomes, poor performances all across the board, right? So to have that many battles, I feel like, granted, not every performance was clean, not every performance was perfect, but in every battle, you had at least one artist who carried the weight in that particular battle if someone wasn't up to snuff and up to par. And that's all you can ask for. And I think that the artists are to be commended or to be saluted for that, for coming through, doing their thing. The stream was pretty. There was a couple of hiccups here and there, but shout out to Ruin Your Day and their entire team for keeping things running smoothly so that we, the fans at home who are watching, could watch. And to the breakout stars of the event, to Rosenberg Raw and Brosenberg, man, Frozen Bros, like they were phenomenal.
So
they were phenomenal. Like I really enjoyed. Granted, I'm always trying to listen because we're in the content creation business. I'm always listening to, whether it's URL and it's Jay Black and it's Nunu and DNA, whoever or Showtime and Vada Fly, I'm always listening to the commentary to see how they're handling things because this is live. It's live. We're going to do it live, right? It's live TV, and you're trying to juggle a bunch of things all at one time. And I thought that they did incredible. Rosenberg to me, and I really meant this, it was a Bob Costas like intro. If you remember the NBA on NBC, during the playoffs, during the NBA finals, big matchups, Bob Costas would start the proceedings with a monologue to prepare you for the game. And that's how you knew it was must-see TV. It was a big game. And Rosenberg's introduction, talking to the fans about, maybe battle rap hasn't been what you've wanted it to be lately, but we've got a great card and so on and so forth. I thought he did that eloquently. I would love to ask him if that was rehearsed. I mean, he is a battle rapper.
It was. Yeah.
Okay.
Before the event started, I'm at the event and I go upstairs and I just see Rosenberg pacing in a circle like he's got a battle, like rapping. And I'm just like looking at him and I'm just kind of like, yo, like, you good? Like, you ain't battling, man. And he's like, no, bro. I just got this intro that I wrote out that I just really want to, like, make sure I hammer it, And I was just like, oh, okay, dope, And then I just didn't think nothing of it, And then until, like, that night after the event, I got on Twitter and saw, like, his intro. And I was like, wow, that dude really had a 90-second round. Like, just, like, boom. Like, and smoked it, bro. Like, it was great.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So again, salute to them, man. Like, I think that's dope. I feel like those two, because I feel like Rosenberg also with his questions, with his opinions, I don't feel like he slacked in any way. I think he did a great job of setting up Rosenberg to deliver analysis of what was happening from a battle rap perspective. I felt like if he disagreed, he did so in a respectful way that kept the dialogue going. So again, shout out to those guys, man. I really respect and appreciate the work that they did. Now I'm trying to sit here and find. You got me thinking too. I got a lot of.
I was trying to like make sure, I was like super high.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to find. Shout out to JC. We're gonna try to get you and Drew on next week. Talk some football. Mama Ward in the building. So I'm trying to sit here and find this doggone. While we've been talking, I thought Chilla had one, but it's not split up between day one and day two. That's the media I'm looking for, just so we can see. We can kind of go from the bottom of the card to the top, but I am not seeing it on his page, and it was there for the longest time. Actually, here I got it. I did not get a chance to watch the either of Stretch versus GK or Lefty versus Tusabe. So I apologize to you, gentlemen. My apologies, pardon self. I didn't get a chance to watch those. So, and those I don't think were live in the building, right? Like those were recorded. I think
those were done on Friday. So they did them on Friday outside, back behind the hotel. And there was a lot of people over there. I was going over rounds, and I was in the hotel, so I was literally Squidward from the window, like looking out, and just and seeing all of the stuff and hearing all the reactions. So, I talked to Stretch afterwards, and I talked to is one dude's name Leaky something or
Lefty?
Okay, Lefty. I think I talked to a couple of the guys. That they seemed like it was a decent couple battles. You know what I mean? You got some reaction stuff, but I didn't really hear like who won or who didn't. I just know that it was Mike Masters' talent versus TBL. Mike Masters versus TBL. So that's pretty cool because Mike Masters had a hand in sponsoring, or affiliates of Mike Masters had some hand in sponsoring the event. TBL obviously was a big reason why Massacre 6 happened. So I thought that was cool for them to have a couple of their battlers each, there to put on.
All right. So I'll try to check them out, man. Like if there are any clips, anything I can share, I'll definitely try to do that as well.
Just so you know, you can leave these comments up a little longer if you want. Like
I'm sorry. I'll pull this comment back up. Yeah. Okay. Chip Stackton says, still don't understand how Ward keeps getting better. One of the best in the world.
Yeah. No, yeah. Appreciate it, Chip, man. Thank you, man. No, I really do, man. I really do appreciate it, bro.
Shout out to this comment.
Mama seen him. Mama seen him. It don't matter if anybody else saw him. Mama seen him.
Shout out to Mama Ward. Stretch, you got some work to do to impress Mama Ward, though. So get back in the
Tell
lab, man.
somebody with
Come back.
Stretch, you can go watch him. He battled Loso when I battled Emerson Kennedy, I believe. So Loso battled Stretch out there that day that I battled Emerson Kennedy, and the day Saga battled the Source, I believe.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm thinking of a different battle where Loso battled and you two were on the same card, but that was a different. That might have. Anyway, I don't want to get down the rabbit trail. All right, so first battle. For also, let me say this too. Last thing. Shout out to Takeover and KOTD for putting the first couple of battles of the night on YouTube for fans to tune in for free. I thought that was really cool. It gave you a little bit of an appetizer, and if you wanted to see more, right, you had to go to kotdtv.com to go check it out. So E Farrell versus Pepe. Did you get a chance to see that one at all?
Yeah, I was right there. I watched that whole battle.
So how'd you call that one?
I thought E Farrell won the battle. Pretty clear. I thought Pepe had some good moments, some good rebuttals. Thing with Pepe, sometimes it's just the delivery, the pacing. A lot of people get on to him about his voice and how he kind of changes it a little bit to battle. I think that he can kind of find some different ways to, do a little bit more with tone and pacing and stuff like that. But I didn't think he did bad at all. I didn't think he got smoked at all. E Farrell is a vet. E Farrell's from the area too. We have to take this into everything. There was a lot of battles where it was a TBL guy or a New England battle rapper. It was, so E Farrell's there, from Connecticut. So E Farrell's just really, man, he's just really good. He's really good. He's going to give you that solid, creative, witty wordplay, stuff you've never heard before, and do it really well. The bar of the battle for me was, Steve Irwin. I'll be catching rays till the day that I die. I thought that was super fire. He's talking about being on a beach. It's like, yo, super fire. But I mean, Pepe had the nice line. What do you say? Have you brain dead? Something like leave you in brain dead in Connecticut, where they'll find you in CTE. I thought that was dope. How you put that together. But yeah, there was some good bars. But yeah, I hit E Farrell, but good battle to kick off the night. Like energy, crowd reaction, stuff like that. Not anything to be like, that should have never been on this card. I think both of them did their numbers.
Yeah. I liked. I had E Farrell winning too. I think the third round was the highlight of the battle. From E Farrell, like you said, I agree. Pepe, decent bars, good bars, nice back and forth. But I feel like at least maybe first and third, I thought E Farrell got those 2 rounds pretty clearly. All right, let's jump to the next one. Excel versus Chef Trez. Okay, I had Chef Trez. Excuse me. First and third, the rebuttals from Chef. Chef turned up in his third round as well. And I say this, I feel like in each round, Excel had good material. I feel like there's a ceiling over his head though. I don't know other way to explain it. It just feels like he's always on the cusp of breaking through, and it just never seems to happen for him. But I respect the fact that he continues to fight and keep swinging. But yeah, I had Chef Trez in that one first and third.
Yeah, man, to be honest with you, I had it as a debatable battle. I didn't have clearly Chef Trez winning. I had Chef Trez clearly winning the third round. I think that was like the best round to me of the battle. I think the first and second could be debated. So I didn't necessarily like lean it completely to Trez. But I think that when you see somebody in the third round kind of level up a little bit better than anybody's been in the battle, you know what I mean? You kind of go away thinking like, all right, Chef Trez with the rebuttals and the way he structured his third round, like he was the better battler. But yes. I just think if we're looking at it from the whole round 1, round 2, round 3, I think the first 2 rounds are both debatable. So,
and I wouldn't be mad if someone tried to make a case for Excel in that battle. Yeah. And I think your point is, I feel like in a couple of battles during this 2-night event, that there were artists who had really strong third rounds that I do think could be what shifts how someone may call a battle. So I absolutely think you're right about that. Yeah. All right, this next one. This is one I didn't get a chance to watch all the way through. I feel like I had some events I was going to, and so I was getting ready to get the family together to get out the house. Real Deal versus Mike P. I need to go, so I'll turn this over to you because I didn't get a chance to see all of this one. I've seen parts.
Yeah.
So,
highly considered to be battle of the night, or best back and forth, of the night. Man, it was really, really good. It was nice, mom. It was really good from the first round to the third round. Both battlers locked in, no stumbles, both doing exactly what they do best at a high level. Mike comes out the gate, aggression, punchlines. It's let it flash on deal for a limited time only. It's a very creative ways. Even the opener, your son's Shaq impression is dogs like just the way he's attacking Real Deal, super fire. I think the highlight of the battle for me is the way their second rounds both lined up were so dope. They both starts the round off with like, you told Holmesy to God, and then Real Deal's second round is like, you told Thesaurus, and they have this like just hilarious spin on it that kept you entertained, had you laughing. And in third round, the closers as well. I thought that, the clear thing was that I think Mike was in some like, I'm going to talk to his soul type third round, with not like a whole lot of punches, but just like a lot of things that he feels is true, which is tough because when you feel something is true, that's fire. You have to convince the world that that's true, and if the world is not ready to hop on board, even if it is, it's tough. So I think that I think Real Deal took the third round clearly. What up, Nate? I think Real Deal took the third round clearly, and then when you go back to it, man, it's a close battle too. I think I had edge Real Deal, I believe, in the second as well, and I think I had Mike taking the first. But it's just similar. Those first two rounds are very very close as well. It's also a case of a situation where if Real Deal goes first, it might go second. It might look a little different because they're responding to each other's angles the entire battle.
yeah.
Real Deal saying, "Yeah, I'm the first guy on White Guy on Smack. Like you took my whole style, my whole steez 3 years later." Then Mike P saying like, "Oh, you broke the color barrier on Sack." You know what I mean? Like everything really lined up. Just a beautiful battle.
Yes, the clips I've seen, I got a chance to, I think, see all of the second and third. I think I missed the first from both of them. When he calls him Smacky Robinson, Martin Luther King of the Dot. Really good. Real Deal, was it you told about the root beer thing? I'll, pop your top and fill your mug. Like that whole angle. When he got into the, you're Italian, that part,
everything was so hilarious, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely, like, let me just say this now, and I might say it again at various points as we go through this recap. If you have not gotten a chance to see these battles, go to KOTDTV.com. I don't know how much the VOD is because I copped the pay-per-view in the moment, but go check these battles out, man. Like, you will not be disappointed. We're talking about maybe 20 hours worth of material. So whatever you spend on that, it'll be worth your investment if you're a battle rap fan. So yes, really good back and forth. That's one I need to go back and watch in its entirety. All right. So next up was your battle, Thesaurus versus A Ward. How do you feel your battle went, sir?
And I feel really good. I feel I had said when going into it, and you never know what your material or how it's going to translate, how you're going to perform. I've written material that I'm like, this is A+ material, and got up there and thought, oh, wow, that ended up being B material. I've written, material that I thought was C+ and ended up being A, and I just try to be honest with what I got, how much time I know I put into it, how I feel about the rounds and everything like that. Going into the battle, I felt really good about my first and third round. I felt like my second needed a little bit more, to the point to where I even added like 8 bars to it the day of the battle because I was just like, it's just not, it's not hitting the way I want it to, So going, so I'm anticipating, like always, Thesaurus to be the best Thesaurus we've seen, in years because that seems to be what I normally have to go up against, So I'll say this much, like, he wasn't, in my opinion, he wasn't like the thesaurus that battled Frack. He wasn't, the thesaurus that battled Fresco. I thought he was, not at that level. And I think with his first round, with him cutting it short and it not being a full round, kind of come across as like, I wouldn't know if I would call it a choke, but he kind of cut it short after, whatever. And my first round being like a nuclear missile, like it's just a really, like it was really difficult to like ever come back from that for him. Almost to the point to where the second round didn't even matter. You know what I mean? It was like, and then we got to the third, and like I thought going into the battle, my first and third were really, really good. And then I thought that my third round was really good as well. But yeah, man, I said going into it a couple things. One, I had told, I think 3 Letterman, I was just like, it's about time that I really start getting like these clear wins over guys. You know what I mean? Like to separate some things, because what happens, like I said, like I go in there and I face somebody's best performance, or I face somebody's great performance that just happens to be 2 times longer than mine, or whatever. And I'm figuring out, I'm trying to find my way through debatables and different things while I'm performing at a high level. And it's like, so I did that. And yeah, man, just shout out to the source, man. Like I felt like, that, he posted something on Twitter that he had in the battle, and I read it, and I'm like, wow, that's really good. But like on paper is one thing, you still got to rap it, you got to deliver it, you got to hammer it home, and all that kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of guys that rhyme really well, a lot of guys that can rhyme really well, and that's just unfortunate. If that was the case, Chilla Jones would have 3-0'd T-Rex, because I guarantee you on paper, Chilla Jones rounds rhyme and are lyrically and punchline, better than T-Rex's, So, yeah, shout out to Pete, man. I had a great time. It was refreshing to get off the stage, and people to just be like, that round, that first round. People saying it's one of my better rounds of my career. Like going into the battle, I didn't expect that. I knew my first and third were really good, but I didn't expect the first round to translate as a career type round for me, and that's really dope.
So before I chime in, let's talk about the setup here of the venue, right? Being there, because I've seen photos, and it seems like that pit, like once people got there, it was very tight. Obviously, there's a balcony up top. So yeah. How big was that venue that you guys battled in?
It was pretty big. Yeah, it was pretty big. It was I can't put a number on how many people were there, but you didn't feel like, you felt like it was wall to wall. There's rafters behind you with the steps where people were standing up, over here. There's, you felt like it was pretty much wall to wall. I think that, on the second night, once it got to Big K and Rock, like it was way more packed for Big K and Rock than like any other battles that weekend, So like some people, but yeah, it felt very packed. And, I look over and that's the one thing that's, I've made some great friends in battle rap, some great friends in battle rap. And, I've made not even just great friends, I've just made relationships and friendships with people to where, when I'm standing there, like people will stand on my side, even if it might not be like my guy, you know what I mean? Like, but they rock with me, you know what I mean? And so, I look behind me and I've got, obviously, Quest and Shad and Saga. But then I'm also looking like there's Tay-Rock standing there, you know what I mean? Like, we battled earlier this year. We have a good friendship, and I look at kind of at the source's side and I'm like, he's kind of like Dolo out here, and a lot of the Cali guys were like that. Pass was like that. Geechee wasn't, because Geechee's kind of like URL. He's got it all, whatever. But there's a lot of times there were guys out there, and it was just like, if you don't got that energy behind me, I had guys supporting me, going crazy, different things. That energy helps you a whole lot. I don't know that it's really considered gas as long as your material's translating. I don't think I was getting gassed and I was bombing, but having that energy really helps out your performance.
Yeah. Just looking, like I said, from the photos, I've seen some of that you've taken from different battles. Some I've seen others take. That's why I was curious of the size, because obviously it's got to be a nice size venue if you have a balcony, right? And you have people up there who can take photos. And then, like I said, obviously the Rock and K battle, it is jam-packed. But even with your battle, like it doesn't look like it's a small amount of people there. Like it.
Yeah, no, no.
So I was curious. Obviously, pit style. I know that is something that, based on the pay-per-views that I watch, that Avocado prefers. Right, he
Always,
likes
yeah.
to have that, to have those guys kind of all be really impacted and tied up against one another. But yeah, I was curious about that. So, all right, let's keep it moving. I don't want to prolong the time, so I know we want to make sure we got a lot of battles to get through. All right, so next battle, Sharon versus 40 Bars.
Yeah. I was doing my interviews and didn't get to hear the first round, which is really frustrating because from what I gathered or what I heard is that 40 Bars had an incredible first round. It's a debatable
Her first is
first
really
round
good.
that she might have taken, in the building. The only thing about that is that when you go into your second round and choke as bad as she choked in the second round and like lose that second round so badly and then lose that third, it kind of makes people want to revisit and be like, it's a 30 ball because you got smoked the rest of the way out. You know what I mean? But from what I heard, that first round was crazy. I had heard Sharon's 3 rounds, before because we sparred and everything, and I thought, man, like energy wise, projection wise, all that kind of stuff. Like he's gonna go up here and be barking on her. Like she better be ready. You know what I mean? And because and that's why I was happy to hear that she came out in the first swinging like that. I was like, oh, okay. I just wish that she could have had 2 more rounds like that because, man, if she could have matched Sharon semi like that in 3 rounds like that, it could have been one of the best intergender battles probably of all time if she was hitting like in the first round. You know what I mean? And because it just they were both, that was the top of her game type material from what the clips I did see and watch, and then what people were telling me too. So, but I'm not gonna quote T Rex from the Face Off about ifs, but I'll go with the other quote as a kid. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas all year long, right? So so like that's she definitely lost clearly. Sharon with what people might consider body of the night outside of me and Source.
Yeah, so somehow I don't know how I was in and out. I did see their first rounds. I know during the predictions, I was like, I don't know what the heck 40 is going to say to Sharon. And like you said, that first round, I was like, okay, 40, okay. And then after that, I did get off. I did not get back on the rest of the night. And then I got to hear about, unfortunately, she choked in the second and the third round. Sharon, who has had a really, really good year. I don't know every battle he's done this year, but I know he was really good versus Danny. Here again, I don't know if he's going to make the 4 battle requisite, but that's someone that we might have to, if he gets to that 4 battle requisite for Cody, like he might be someone who, based on those 2 performances, should safely be on the list. Shout out to Dre in the building.
Yeah, he might. I'm trying to think. I do know for sure he has. I don't think they count. I don't think they count the compliment battles because he's locked in, with Loso for the compliment battle. But he does have. Hold on. You can always pull a Battler's Genius, and it has their entire resume year to year. So if you go find Sharon Genius, and then it also has what they've been booked for. So 2024, yeah, Sharon Cali Smooth, which was 3 rounds. Sharon Danny Myers, Sharon Anderson Burris, Sharon Emerson Kennedy, Sharon Shuffle T, and 40 Bars. So yeah, he's done quite a bit this year, and he smoked Shuffle T. Where did he battle Emerson Kennedy at?
I wonder, was that a 1 rounder?
Out of him, 3 rounds on Riot when the Gaza, right? Wasn't not Gaza, Raza at the Riot when I battled Cali Smooth.
Oh, when you battled Cali, okay.
Yep. Yeah, he beat Emerson Kent. Wow, so he's undefeated. Ooh, was him and Danny Myers too? I don't remember. Oh yeah, he got crazy in New Orleans. Like he was one of the few people. Yo, low key, Sharon might have the names on here, are tough to do. You give Danny credit. Sharon has a top 20 to me champion of the year, resume already, and he just messaged me and told me that he's locked in with something that's super crazy that's probably going to be announced here in the next week that y'all going to be like, whoa, what? So.
I mean, I've never heard it. I've never heard the saying. So shout out to Dre. He said if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, it would be Christmas all year long. I've never heard that in my 40 years of living. Ward is a legend.
Yo, did you hear what T-Rex said at the face-off though?
No, I did not hear. I didn't watch any of the face-offs.
Whenever Uncle Rod asked T-Rex if he was gonna win, like how was he gonna beat Chilla? And T-Rex looked at him and said, if my mom she'd be my dad. What do you mean? like, yo, all right, Rex. He's like, when I kicked his. Like,
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Too funny.
That's definitely what Mama used to tell me.
All right. Let's jump to, speaking of T-Rex and Chilla Jones, let's talk about that battle. Again, I didn't see this one either. I told myself I was going to watch it as soon as I got to the crib, and I did not.
But this is anytime you battle early in the card, there's you go do your interview and you try to come back. Like after you battle, you're trying to like be back invested, but like people are coming up to you, they want to do they're congratulating you, you're doing this. You're tired, the adrenaline, you want to go sit down. You don't want to be right back up behind. So I'm listening to Rex and Chilla from the balcony, but I'm also kind of multitasking. I can tell the crowd reaction is like severely going Rex's way, like in the first round. I'm just like, whoa. I remember thinking at the end of the first round, like, yo, Rex got that round clearly. You know what I mean? I'm also remember thinking like, it's a Rex type thing to have one amazing round. And then, and so I remember the second round goes, Rex has a good second round too. But I thought like Chilla edged it. And I do remember in the building seeing people say 1-1, some hands going 1-1 or whatever. So the third round, it seemed to me in the building that Rex got the third round clearly as well. When you're asking around and you're talking to battle rappers, you're talking to different guys, it's like, what? Like Rex won that battle, but Chilla clearly had the better material. You hear that, Like somehow Rex clearly won that battle, but Chilla clearly had the better material. And it's just battle rap, you know what I mean? Like a nostalgia about you or a performance or a whatever, like a controlling the crowd and different things like that. Whether your material is catered or makes sense all the time or whatever, whereas Chilla is Pendulum Inc. He's very technical. He's very everything. There's a punchline in absolutely everything. He's back to back doing a lot.
I've never heard anybody say that someone won the battle, but the other person was better.
Better material, like just better, like you know what I mean, like.
Wow.
And so that's
I
heard multiple people say that, but it's like at the end of the day, we always say like, hey, like it's not all about the bars. It's really not.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Sue Surf. Sue Surf was, he was one of the main people who talked about,
Rex slammed that hat all 3 rounds is what I heard. I didn't see it. They said he slammed it all 3 rounds.
So shout out to Mama Ward. She says, I'm conflicted. Chilla had really good bars. Rex was screaming his bars and doing the hat thing. So let me say this. I need to watch this one back, and I want to watch this one back because I heard this was a really good battle too. There is not a battle. I've been in the culture heavily invested for 7 years. I have never seen an artist who, when he taps into what people consider to be like their prime, their top level, their high level, that can get fans excited the way Rex does.
Oh, yeah.
Rex, the first time I really saw Rex battle was Summer Madness 7 versus Reed Dollars. Rex has you talked about it earlier. Rex had a really good first round. He does the hat slam in the first. It is pandemonium in that building. People online are going crazy, right? I've seen clips of he was battling some kid not too long, like it might have been last year. He battles a kid, right? He gets his bars off. He actually knocked the hat off his head by accident, caught it in the air, then slammed it on the punch. Everybody's going crazy. And that clip, and people like, man, I can never hate Rex. This is my GOAT. Y'all can never make me turn against this. Like, chess is like this. Twerk is like this. I feel like surf is like this. To a degree, rock is like this. But there is not a battle rapper alive that when they seem to tap into whatever the height of their professional career, they love Rex. I mean, love Rex. And again,
Lloyd Banks tweets like, yo, Rex is Rex. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I've seen people say like Chilla was really good, but it was Rex. Rex was, like you said, Rex was Rex 30 or Rex 2-1. And I'm like, dang, that's kind of crazy. Like, you're calling this battle essentially off of nostalgia and aura. And it does not mean when I say that, I'm not saying that Rex wasn't good. I watched this first round. I think at that point it was 1 o'clock in the morning. And I passed out. I couldn't keep my eyes open any longer. So I did watch their first rounds. Rex's first round was really good. He definitely had the building. And at that point I passed out. So I need to go watch the second and third rounds. But yeah, man, like it is a phenomenon that I am fascinated by. With the way people love Rex when he taps into like that prime mid 2010s Rex. So,
yep.
All right, man. Last battle from day one: Geechee Gotti versus Marv Won. I'll start and I'll let you finish up. Shout out to Marv Won, man. I saw when this battle was announced. It was one of the first battles that was now. I think maybe the second one. When this battle got announced, all in the comments: Geechee 30. Marv can't do nothing with him. He's going to get smoked. He's going to die. I hope that the apologies are going to be as loud as the disrespect was from those people in the comments. Because let me tell you something. This was a battle I did go and watch immediately when I got back to the crib. If Marv doesn't fumble that second, we're going to be talking about Marv's performance up there for performance of the night on day one. We're going to be talking about Marv's performance as one of the best 3-round performances of the weekend. And we're going to be talking about a body against Geechee Gotti if he doesn't fumble that second round. Geechee, first and third, I know he said he was kind of dealing with some stuff, going through some things, but first and third, he phoned it in. He was there to collect the check. He was there so he wouldn't get fined. Marv, first and third, incredible. And even his second round where he does the whole setup of talking about massacres that are happening. If you get crazy in here, what's today? August 20-something, 2024 is going to be another mass shooting. And like crazy. Some of his sports bars, crazy sports bars. A lot of good sports bars this weekend, by the way.
Not for me.
You know, well, I mean, I'm a shooter and the driver, Curry and James, and I'm ending with the Vic like Serbian names.
That was good.
Yes, I really like that. So I mean, like, you know, salute to Marv, man. It was a clear 2-1 first and third from him. I wish he wouldn't have fumbled that second because, like I said, we would be having a different conversation about him if that doesn't happen. I'll let you finish that up, sir.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it sucks. It sucks that that your opponent's lack of preparation can highly affect how often people talk about your battle or what they think about the battle or what they think about your material. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, because Geechee didn't come in there and really compete, you know, it opens up that window of people saying like, yeah, Geechee didn't care, you know what I mean? Just came in there for a check when Marv really put together 3 really, really good, incredible rounds. And even if Geechee had been in there doing what Geechee does, we're talking about a battle of the night, like a clash of the Titans.
For sure.
And so, you know, I thought Marv, you know, his first round was so good. His third round was so good. And I know his second round was good because I had heard it, you know what I mean? And, you know, we sparred plenty of times. And, you know, that second round opener, it was like, man, that's probably going to take the roof off. That's probably going to get a lot of reaction, you know? And, you know, those are just those situations that you can't replicate in sparring your material. You know what I mean? Really, you know, like you want to believe, you know, when crowd reaction is going to come, and then you want to say, and with Marv, you know, the crowd reaction, and then he's like, it's so much. What's the next line? You know, and when you blank from what's the next line, you know, if you can't grab it pretty quick, you have to make a business decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good. You have to make that business decision. give it a couple more seconds and seem like give the public no, I'm choking, or go into some freestyles or what, you know. And Marv, you know, he was able to kind of go into his freestyles, get into a freestyle bag, show that he still got a little bit of that, you know what I mean? Like if he needs to. But ultimately, you know, he'll tell you, he told me, you know, he's like, I left some money on the table this weekend. You know, I left money on the table. First and third, crazy rounds. Clear win, you know what I mean, over Geechee Gotti. But I really hope that people look at that first and third and say, like, yo, this is great writing. This is great. Marv1 is still putting together rounds that are really, really good for battle rap, you know? And they don't look at that battle and say, yeah, Geechee phoned it in. Marv took the first and third. You know, I don't, you know, that you don't want that to be the narrative, but unfortunately it's battle rap. So
yeah. Hopefully, like I said, man, and at the end I'll kind of go back and talk about some of the more standout performances that won't get as much of the focus, because this was one of them, even with the fumble in the second. All right, let's jump into day 2.